Ladies and gentlemen, get ready, because the internet is on fire with one of the most intense, explosive, and downright jaw-dropping rants of the year. That's right, we're talking about Joe Rogan unleashing on none other than the ever-controversial Jake Paul. You won't believe the things Joe had to say. Stick around because we're about to dive deep into this fiery showdown. What sparked it, why Rogan decided to go all out, and how Jake Paul has responded. Trust me, you won't want to miss a second of this heated drama. Before we dive into Joe Rogan's blazing commentary, let's take a quick step back to understand why Jake Paul is even in this conversation. Jake Paul is no stranger to controversy. Rising to fame as a YouTuber with viral pranks and crazy antics, Jake transitioned from internet sensation to professional boxer, amassing millions of both fans and critics along the way. His antics have often landed him in the spotlight, but in recent years, it's his unexpected boxing success that has kept him there. From knocking out former UFC fighters to calling out some of the biggest names in combat sports, Jake has made waves that have people questioning his legitimacy as a boxer. Is he for real? Does he have what it takes to stand with the pros? Critics, including seasoned fighters and fans, have debated this for years, and now Joe Rogan has entered the conversation with some serious thoughts. The build-up. Why Joe Rogan reached his boiling point. So what led to Joe Rogan's epic rant? This isn't the first time Joe has voiced his opinion on Jake Paul, but things really came to a head in early 2024. Jake, never one to shy away from bold claims, has continued to push the narrative that he's a force to be reckoned with in the fight world. But it was his recent assertion that he could take on high-level MMA fighters and win that tipped the scales. This bold statement struck a chord with Rogan, who has long been a respected voice in the MMA community. Known for his dedication to the sport and the fighters who pour their heart and soul into it, Joe has a deep appreciation for the discipline, training, and sheer effort it takes to succeed in combat sports. And Jake Paul's approach, which often feels like it's more about fame and fortune than respect for the sport, was enough to push Joe over the edge. The disrespect to the sport and the fighters who work tirelessly to reach the top was too much for Joe to stay silent about. 3. The rant. Joe Rogan destroys Jake Paul. Now, the moment we've all been waiting for. The epic rant that took over the internet. It all went down on Joe Rogan's massively popular podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience. When a guest brought up Jake Paul's latest claims, Joe didn't hold back. What followed was one of the most intense takedowns we've ever seen. Joe called Jake out for being disrespectful to both boxing and MMA, likening his career to a sideshow compared to the rigorous, dedicated lives of true fighters. He wasn't just angry about Jake's attitude. Rogan was furious at what he felt was the cheapening of combat sports for the sake of fame and money. "This isn't about the sport anymore," Rogan said. "It's a circus." These words set off a firestorm online, as fans of both Jake and Rogan chimed in on social media. Jake Paul's response, defiant as ever. So, how did Jake Paul respond? As expected, Jake didn't back down. Never one to shy away from controversy, Jake took to social media to fire back at Rogan, calling him out for being out of touch and even challenging him to a public debate on the matter. He doubled down on his claims, maintaining that he is indeed capable of competing with elite fighters and that his success speaks for itself. The back and forth between Jake Paul and Joe Rogan has only intensified, with fans of both sides adding fuel to the fire. As the drama continues to unfold, it's clear that this is far from over. Jake Paul's response. Defiant as ever. So how did Jake Paul respond? As expected, Jake didn't back down. Never one to shy away from controversy, Jake took to social media to fire back at Rogan, calling him out for being out of touch and even challenging him to a public debate on the matter. He doubled down on his claims, maintaining that he is indeed capable of competing with elite fighters and that his success speaks for itself. The back and forth between Jake Paul and Joe Rogan has only intensified, with fans of both sides adding fuel to the fire. As the drama continues to unfold, it's clear that this is far from over. Conclusion.